I had reasoned incredibly wrongly that authorities and administrators and teachers in higher education would have read a good deal of testimony by concentration camp survivors and histories of the Third Reich. I'd always been told that men in uh, Barnes and Noble books, for example, that Hitler books sold like flapjacks. This was even lamented as somehow indicative of a prurient fascination on the part of Americans. So imagine my surprise when people didn't recognize immediately that the Gestapo and Nazis had a selection process. And they couldn't identify that when the word selection was spelled with a K instead of a C, it was a reference to this selection. Further, they didn't recognize that Goebbels had classified the subhumans as merchandise. Horrible stories about shaving their heads for the hair to stuff pillows and so on. Nobody could imagine that anybody would want to walk in those footsteps after it was discovered. It was some sort of maniacal filth that was in charge of Hitler's Germany. It was singular into creation and conjured by Nosferatu. So it's certainly not to Israel's credit that people are belaboring the questions about to what degree Israel compares, that's for sure. But there is indications that the deep state has adopted these manias. I point directly to one of the prime perpetrators of bringing Gestapo mystic Gurdjieff into vogue. People haven't investigated, but the man who taught Adolf Hitler to practice hypnotism and mesmerization in front of the mirror was apparently, I believe, Jewish and had studied Gurdjieff. So this individual was named Fripp. His second album features Tamod de Jong and pictures of what they call archetypes. So when you look at Tammy Simon's association with the Dalai Lama and the way she came on to me at Princeton as an androgyne with an aquiline nose to evoke John Lennon after she was introduced to me in the rejection spirit of Leslie Katz and called herself a lesbian for magical religion. You have this androgyny figure endorsed by the Dalai Lama by association, at least she smuggled with him. And she's a Zionist from Boulder, Colorado, at Sounds True Studios. This androgyne was one of the living archetypes that I have met. So we're supposed to be zany for an arc of archetype return to the great cluster of African lore. Zany, man. And they have these affinity gestures that they pull, like 7-foot-tall black men with women named Leni, for Leni Riefenstahl. People don't look into these things. That's my whole point. You would have thought that administrators and higher education faculty and these people who lewdly, apparently, obsessed with publications from Hitler's Germany would be familiar with the aspects of atrocitarians mongering the right to produce a selection. It's absurd and indecent that they don't know these things. Why does a deaf library clerk who's been kept out of school by force of slander have to teach them this?